Today, we are going to discuss a very important question of the target costing, that is Advert Limited. Before we start the question, we will revise the concept of the target costing. In target costing, we have to first set the selling price of the product, and then we set the target profit on the selling price, and after that, we will get the target cost. And we then compare the target cost with the expected cost of the product and calculate the cost gap. This is the whole process of target costing. Before we start this question, we first read the requirement. He said calculate the expected cost per unit for the radio and identify any cost gap that might exist. So we have to calculate the expected cost and cost gap of radio. Okay. Now we read the question. Advert company assembles and sells many types of radio. It is considering extending its product range to include digital radios. These radios produce a better sound quality than the traditional radios and have a large number of potential additional features not possible with the previous technologies. Station scanning, more choices, one-touch tuning, station identification text, and the song identification text, etc. A radio is produced by assembly workers assembling a variety of components. Production overheads are currently absorbed into the product on an assembly labor hours. Now, the very important information about the factory overheads, absorption rate is based on direct labor hours. Advert company is considering a target costing approach for its new digital radio product. A selling price of 44 has been set in order to compete with the similar radio on the market that has comparable features to the Advert company intended product. The target price or the selling price of the radio is 44. Then what he said, the board has agreed that acceptable margin after allowing for all the production costs should be 20%. Your profit margin is 20% of sales of the selling price. Okay. Margin, as it is mentioned, the margin is taken on the sales. Okay. Cost information for the new radio is as follows. This information is given for the calculation of expected cost. Component 1, that is based on the circuit board. These are bought in and cost 4.1 each. Circuit board's unit price is 4.1. They are bought in batches of 4,000 and additional delivery cost is 2,400 per batch. In one batch, you have 4,000 unit and the per batch delivery cost is 2,400. Now, component 2, wiring. In an ideal situation, 25 centimeter of wiring needed for the each completed radio. However, there is some waste involved in the process as the wire is occasionally cut to the wrong length or is damaged in the assembly process. This is 25 centimeter is required for the good product unit. So keep in mind, we always put in the process 100%. And then you will get the output. And there is a loss of process. Advert company estimates that 2% of the purchased wire is lost in the assembly process. It means this is not at 100%. This 25 centimeter is required for the manufacture of the product. We put 100%. This is 98% because 2% is lost. Wire also costs 0.5 per meter to buy. Now, consumption is given in centimeter, but rate is given in meters. So we will convert the consumption into meters. Other material is cost 8.1 per radio. Assembly laborers, these are skilled people who are difficult to recruit and retain. Either company has more staff to do for this type than needed, but is prepared to carry this extra cost in return for the security it gives the business. It takes 30 minutes to assemble and radio, and assembly workers are paid 12.6 per hour. It is estimated that 10% of hours paid to the assembly workers is for idle time. The hours we are paying, that is not 100%. 30 minutes labor is not working 100%. 10% is idle time of the labor. This 30 minutes is required for the radio assembly. So this is your productive hours. 30 minutes is your productive hours. Okay. Now, production overhead. Recent historic cost analysis has been revealed the following production overhead cost. Now, total production overhead and assembly labor hour is given month 1 and month 2. Fixed production overhead are absorbed on the assembly labor hour basis on the normal annual activity level. In typical year, 240,000 assembly hours will be worked by the Edward company. This information is given for the absorption rate of fixed overheads. Now, we have to calculate the expected cost, and then we have to calculate the target cost gap. First of all, we have to know the target cost. What is your target cost? The selling price of the product is 44. Your required margin is 20% of 44 into 20%, you will get 8.8. So our target cost is 35.2. This is your target cost. Okay, this is understood. We have to less, and I also mentioned here less the margin, that is 8.8, you will get 35.2. That is your target cost. Target cost is your maximum allowable cost of the product. Now, we have to calculate the expected cost per unit, and the data is given for the expected cost per unit. First of all, he give the data about the circuit board. Circuit board per unit cost 4.1. And there is additional delivery cost, which is also the part of your purchase cost, keep in mind. Now, what we do, this cost is given for one batch, and in one batch you have 4,000 units. So I will get per unit because I have to calculate the expected cost per unit. So what we do, wire cost is 4.1 plus 2,400 divided by 4,000. So you will get 4.70. Now, sorry, for the circuit board. It's for the circuit board, not for the wire. $4.1 plus 2,400 divided by 4,000. So you will get 4.70. Now come towards the wire cost. For the wire cost, he said there is 2% normal loss, and we put 25 centimeter for the final product. Our final product consumes 25 centimeter. But we always put 100% in the process. That's why we'll take the cost of 100%. Your total quantity is equal to a quantity used plus quantity wasted. Your input is 100%. quantity used is 98% and quantity wasted is 2%. Now, I have to I have to add the 100% cost. So that's why we will get the 100% quantity. Your total quantity is equal to 25 centimeter divided by 98%. I need 100%. So percentages cancel with the percentage and you will get the 100%, that is 25.5 centimeter. Now, the rate is given in meter. There are 100 meters in 1 centimeter. So you will divide it on 100 to get the meters. So I will get 0.255 meter of wire is required and rate per meter is 0.5 per meter. So you will get 0.1275. Now I will put the wire cost working 1.1275. Now, other material. Other material cost 8.1. There is no calculation involved in other material. We will directly put 8.1 per unit. Now come towards the labor cost. When we discuss about the labor cost, total hours is 100%. Hours worked, there are idle time of 10%. Hours worked is 90% and 10% is your idle time. Now, hours worked is given in the question, that is 30 minutes divided by 90. I will find out my total hours, multiply by 100. So I will get the hours, that is 33.33 minutes. Rate is given in hours, so I will convert it into hours divided by 60. 60 minutes in 1 hour. That's why I will divide it and I will find the hours, that is 0.556 hours. And the rate per hour is 12.6 per hour. So you will get your labor cost 7.0056. This is your working to 7.0056. Now, for the variable overhead, they give you total overheads and assembly hours. When we have given the total cost, you will convert it into variable and fixed variable overheads using the high-low method. No, we have to apply high-low method. First of all, we will calculate our variable cost, that is B. B is equal to highest cost minus lowest cost, that is 70,000 minus 62,000, and hours given is 23,000 minus 19,000. So you will get your B, that is 20 per hour. This is your variable factory overheads. Okay. Now, We have to calculate our fixed overhead. We put the formula y is equal to a plus bx. Now, I want to find the a is equal to y minus bx. You can choose any cost from the highest or the lowest activity level. Highest cost is 70,000 and unit variable cost is, what is your unit variable cost? That is 20. And what is your rate? Rate is 20 and labor hour is 23,000 hours. So I will find my A, that is 70,000 minus 46,000. So you will get 24,000 per month. But labor hours given for the fixed overhead absorption rate is annually. I will multiply with 12 to find the annual fixed overheads. So multiply with 12 months, total fixed overheads is 28 lakh 80,000. No, you will calculate your fixed OAR. Your fixed OAR is equal to 28 lakh 80,000 divided by hours, that is 24,000 hours. So you will get the rate that is 12 per hour. No, I will charge the overheads. Keep in mind, variable and fixed overhead is charged excluding the idle time hours. We will not charge idle time hours in case of overheads. We just paid the labor cost for the idle time, but these are not charged in case of overheads. So when we charge the overheads, your variable absorption rate is 20. 20 multiplied by 30 divided by 60. We will convert the minutes into hours. You will get 10. Then your absorption rate is 12 into 30 divided by 60. It's 6. Then you will get the expected cost 35.9331. This is your expected cost per unit. Now, we can calculate the target cost gap. Target cost gap, or the cost gap, is equal to expected cost minus target cost. Now, what is your expected cost? Expected cost is 35.9331 minus 35.20. We have calculated the target cost. So you will get your answer, that is 0.7331. This is your gap, cost gap. Target cost gap is this. So this is a very good question of the target costing, which cover all the concepts, how we will deal with the loss, how we will deal with the overheads using high-low method.